camera one, camera two. All right, cool. I'm Karlee Jane, and I'm a model and photographer based in New York and Los Angeles primarily. I'm a tattoo collector, I suppose, at this point. Definitely gonna keep getting more and more tattoos. You know, I don't think it ever stops at this point. I grew up in LA, actually, but I moved to Palm Springs, Coachella Valley at like 10. Small town, desert town. The only thing we're really known for is Coachella, but you know, flower crowns, whatever. Why I have faith on my face and stuff like that is I came from a pastor and a Jehovah's Witness family upbringing. This is what happens. I'm just kidding. I have a connection with my faith, and faith is broadly defined by all of us. It's not just God, it's this, that. It's whatever you want to believe in, faith in yourself, faith in the universe.
Do you remember the first time you saw somebody with tattoos?
Totally. I was around 4 or 5, and it was my uncle. And of course he served time. I didn't, you're a kid, you don't understand that. And you grow up and you find out later on why they have those collections of old tattoos or prison style tattoos, like naked girls with big boobs and all that stuff, kind of Chicano shit. So I saw that, but I was like, I love this. This is the coolest uncle I have, and he's badass, and I want to be just like him.
What made you want to get tattooed for the first time? And what was that tattoo? How old were you?
So I was around, this is gonna sound so bad, I was like 13, 14, and I was in the new age kind of scene, or like with, MySpace, where it was like, pop punk and emo and punk and stuff. So I got a heart on my sleeve, which is super corny, but I haven't covered it up because we all got it, and it was a group of 5 of us in my friend's little room with a machine he bought off line or some swap meet or something, when your family's so close, you have a Christ upbringing, or you have to have this image of godliness and barely wear makeup and be pristine and be this, that. And it wasn't that I didn't have or believe in those things, or wasn't a good kid. I didn't ditch school. I actually got good grades, honor roll, blah, blah, blah. But I modified myself. My outlet was, I'm gonna pierce my septum by myself in my room at 13 and flip that up and hide it and get to school and flip it out and stretch my ears, or like that was my outlet, was from that. It was expressing myself anti-Christianity, but unfortunately that sounds really gnarly out loud, but it was to rebel against that type of construct of you have to be this image of godliness. I came home with this arm originally was a colored like candy ring pop. Think about like, the original like, Suicide Girls from 10 years ago, where it was like poppy and traditional or neo-trad or whatever. And it was like buttercups and rainbows and all that for no reason. Obviously it meant nothing. So I started that at 17. So I outlined it all, came home, got my ass whooped, and that's reality. We exchanged some words, I hate you, blah, blah, f*** you, all that. We all have those moments with our families. So that was that. I turned 18, I moved to LA, and that's where this new journey started for me. And when I would go back to Palm Springs back then, it was very cookie cutter, and women would go, oh my God, like old women, in their 60s clench their purses. And I'm like, I'm a kid, So I did deal with a lot of adversity back home. So I went back less and less and less.
Your looks are part of what land you means.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever consider that when you're getting tattooed?
I always say, I'm done on my face. I'm like, all right, no more face tattoos, Karlee, no more face tattoos. And then I'm like, oh wait, but what about this little one? Or like, what about one right here? Which I want to do, but I'm just gonna, go keep going up. And I just got like these ones, and in the last year during COVID, pretty much, or like prior COVID, like during COVID, to match. And I still want more on my hairline, so I can't make any promises, to be honest. It's an evolution of just it. In the beginning, I would have some bookings, and I'm talking even 2016, 2017. It was like, okay, but we're gonna cover them up, but everything else is good. And now, specifically a year ago, I'm getting bookings that are requesting, and these are like huge, these are big companies that are like looking for tattoo face girl. Looking for, but like with cooler features, or like, they have like a certain type of aesthetic. But that ended up being the reason why I got more diverse bookings in New York, like fashion weeks and streetwear brands and, commercials and music videos and stuff, because they wanted the look without it being too, in your face, or like too sexy, like just enough sexy, but enough edgy.
It leads me to your Blackout arm.
Ooh.
Because I'm just curious, because...
And I'm blacking out my back too.
This is the arm that got you in trouble, so to speak.
Oh, well, initially, yes.
So
I got it 2 years ago, and I did it in 2 sessions. And it took 3 to finish this inside, but I went in at the Philly convention in 2019. I went full day, 1 day, boom. And then the next day, boom, and we ran out of time. And he was fast. He did this in 6 hours. And his name's Carl. He's from Kentucky. He's amazing and fast and consistent. Like, for me, this is consistent. It was a reminder of so many different chapters, because a lot of different tattooers worked on it. And I worked at some point, and people don't know this about me, I worked in shops on Hollywood Boulevard. When I was 18, 19, I tried an apprenticeship, and this is a decade ago when it was like traditional or nothing. This is a machine, and you need a coil or nothing, and if you're cute or pretty, you were getting sexually harassed and sexually abused. So it was a way different dynamic back then. And you try and get defeated, So these people I surrounded myself with that would go and fill it in or do this filler or this or that weren't good people and weren't good reminders and memories to me. I did it as a start over, a clean slate, and yes, black is a clean slate. And people thought I lost, my fan base, and I hate calling it that because I see it more as the people that support me. They thought I was losing it, because it's big in Europe, but it was 2 years ago, it wasn't big yet. So they were like, oh my God, your sleeve was beautiful. How could you do that? Or you're not the same type of model look now. Now you're not getting the same bubbly or like girly bookings and stuff. But I did it for me to close a chapter and to start over. And now I have a clean slate, and I feel better, I feel stronger, and I feel like I can push forward from this.
I'm assuming that you get strength and confidence out of looking at it and seeing that you left that chapter.
Yes. Not just the confidence from leaving that chapter, but the confidence of sitting through that pain, because a lot of people don't understand, but black work isn't for everyone, because it's also really painful. Ash sucks. It's a lot, it's bold. Doing that and surpassing like 8-7 hours of just shovel, I had to go inside my mind and really meditate and transfer that pain and that energy to something else called healing. And I know that sounds insane, but I healed through that pain. Phoenix energy.
Was there a point in your life where you remember going from someone who's just tattooed to being a tattooed person? If you know,
Sorry, fish
if you get what I mean, like.
Yeah. So I think once my chest piece was finished, and then, or like, whatever, sort of finished, this arm was more kind of completed, and my legs started piecing. You collect more and more little pieces. They start to turn into, whoa, my legs don't look like that anymore, or whoa, my stomach doesn't look like that, my chest doesn't look like that. And I got my first face tattoo in 2012 or 11 for a girl. It was still really bold. And in my industry, I would get some backlash, but it also made a lot of me who I am. When you're like more heavily tattooed, which I feel I'm not, and that's probably like a distortion just in comparison to people that are like, and like have completely like 2-3 bodysuits, So In my eyes, it's just like, you can't go through your journey without acquiring those experiences, and those experiences are what makes you you and makes you become this heavily tattooed person through those lessons. And a lot of time it's like memories and a diary of like, this was what happened, or this tattoo was from this period, or this chapter, LA or Detroit or whatever, New York, and all that stuff. So I regret nothing. I regret none of it, even the fucking ones. I love them all. I hate them all. I look at my face, I'm like, these face tattoos, and I'm like, I fucking love my face tattoos. When I cover them in makeup, I feel ugly. And that's like self-distortion of seeing yourself in certain things, you know what I mean? And then taking that away. If I had to do it over, no, because it wouldn't have made me who this weird eclectic mutant is, you know? It would not have made me me. I would not do it over. I would not have gone anyway or this or that, because everything eventually just realigns back to where you had to be to begin with, which is right here in this seat today, telling this story.